The game of fat loss can be extremely overwhelming, but here's how to outsmart it. I remember being in year 9, I was 14 years old, and me and one of my mates, we made a bet on who can get a six-pack the quickest. And it wasn't until a decade after making this bet that I finally achieved the abs and the six-pack that I wanted. But this wasn't before going through a skinny fat phase when I was 23 years old, where I didn't have any visible abs and I didn't have much muscle to show for it underneath. I'd built up a lot of poor habits when I was away traveling and at university. I was drinking a lot of alcohol, eating a lot of junk foods, not getting very good sleep, and just generally not living a very healthy lifestyle. And I got up to 21% body fat. But luckily I was able to clean things up, and it might not be a six-pack that you're after. You might just want a flat stomach, or you want to look more, you want to feel more confident without a t-shirt on. Whatever your fat loss goals are, here are 3 things that really helped me out on my journey. Imagine being on a peaceful beach, hearing the waves, feeling the warmth of the sun on your body, and you start to feel very relaxed all of a sudden, even though you're not actually at the beach and hearing the waves and feeling the warmth. And that's called a synthetic experience. And that is what point 1 is going to be all about, is first of all, having the vision of what you actually want your body to look like and how you want to feel. And the more specific, the better. How heavy do you want to be to the nearest kilo or pound? What body fat percent do you want to be? What kind of body type do you want? Do you want a leaner, more athletic physique, like a football player? Or do you want a more like big and bulky, muscular frame, like a rugby player? Go into like excruciating detail about what it is you actually want. And the more specific it is, the clearer your vision will be. This will be your North Star whenever you're wanting to make decisions about what to eat, what to train. Think about as well what kind of achievements you want to make on this journey. How much do you want to be able to bench press or squat? Or how quickly do you want to be able to run a 5K? If you're not sure where to start, then this is a good place. Calculate your BMI range between 22 and 27 and pick a body fat percent target between like 10 and 15%. And if you're going for a leaner look and you want to be closer to 10% body fat, then go for around like the 22 BMI. And if you don't mind carrying a bit of extra fat and you want some more size, then you can go closer to the 27 BMI. So what was it that actually changed from me at school and at university, having quite an unhealthy lifestyle, compared to what I'm at now and what I was able to achieve later in my 20s? Well, that's point number 2. And this is a very important point to remember. And that is, data is king. You can't rely on what you see in the mirror. It takes too long to see the changes. And by that point, your motivation would have ran out already. So what I did was I weighed myself every morning and I kept track of all the data in a Google Sheet and just started to turn it into a game. And by seeing the progress day by day, that was what kept me motivated for weeks and months. And it's something I still do to this day. It's so powerful because you can win every single day and you can start building momentum from day 1 and it will make you unstoppable. As I'm sure you're aware, fat loss is 80 to 90% nutrition. So it makes sense to focus most of our efforts there. If I gave you a meal plan, which was 21 different meals, breakfast, lunch and dinner every day of the week, it would be almost impossible to stick to. And that's like expecting someone to bench 100 kilograms in their first ever gym session, or running a sub 3-hour marathon with no training. It's just unrealistic. And the best thing to do is to gamify nutrition by introducing levels which have much smaller and manageable steps so that you can actually start to build that momentum in the first place. So here are 4 steps to improve your nutrition and achieve fat loss. Now, the first step is to fix your breakfast. And I've enlisted the help of Argentina's president, Javier Milei, to tell you exactly what not to eat.
Ministerio de Cultura, afuera. Ministerio de Ambiente y Desarrollo Sostenible, afuera. Ministerio de las Mujeres y Género y Diversidad, afuera. Ministerio de Obras Públicas, afuera. Aunque te resistas. Ministerio de Ciencia y Tecnología e Innovación, afuera. Ministerio de Trabajo, Empleo y Seguridad Social, afuera. Ministerio de Educación, Adoctrinamiento. Afuera. Ministerio de Transporte. Afuera. Ministerio de Salud. Afuera. Ministerio de Desarrollo Social. Afuera. Se acabó el curro de la política. ¡Viva la libertad, carajo!
Once you've got rid of those, you can move on to level 2, which is creating a high protein breakfast that's easy, convenient, and tasty. And some things you can have here are sausages, eggs. If you want to eat like a king, you can have steak. Greek yogurt was the one I had. It was just super easy. And by having a high protein breakfast, that means it keeps you full and it doesn't make you want to snack before your next meal, which is absolutely huge because snacks are really the killer of any kind of body transformation. Once you've nailed the breakfast, then you can focus on trying to fast for the first 4 hours of the day. Now, this is a real game changer for me. And that was because I found that whether I ate breakfast, like straight after waking up or not, I was always just as hungry when it came to lunchtime. So why not save the calories for later in the day and have a huge satiating dinner instead and not go to bed hungry? So this is something which is really effective. I basically didn't eat for the first 4 hours, and I did that by having sparkling water and caffeine, and that really like blunted my hunger and gave the energy I needed to get to that first meal. And then I had the high protein meal, the same one every single day. It just made it effortless to get into the calorie deficit. So we've got our high protein breakfast that we eat 4 hours after waking up. The final level then is to focus on the rest of your meals. Now for me, I prefer having 2 meals per day. I'm quite lazy like that. I don't like cooking too many times or doing the dishes and washing up. So I prefer just having 2 meals. The first one doesn't require any prep or any cooking. And so that means I only have to cook once per day. But if you want to have lunch and dinner, there you'd add the extra step. So step 4 would be the second meal of the day, which for me was dinner. For you, it might be lunch. And then if you go for 3 meals a day, then step 5 is finally nailing that dinner. And by progressively overloading step by step, like meal by meal, you're far more likely to actually build the habit and stick to it. And if you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy this one about my honest advice for someone trying to get in shape. But that's everything for today. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.